Well, hello and welcome to another Blue Star Careers webinar. So, you sell, I sell, everyone sells. On today's webinar, we're going to discuss how you can launch a meaningful career in sales without thinking that you're selling. So, just so that you know, sales jobs are in demand, but talent seems to be a little bit limited right now. In the United States, just across the United States, sales positions make up a significant portion of the job market, with nearly 13% of jobs right out there, full-time jobs, great jobs, are all in sales. And somebody is missing in applying. So let me just tell you a little bit more that a professional in sales can actually open the doors to thrilling and financial rewarding careers, but this can also be enriching to your personal and professional experience. I know because I've done sales and it's really, really rewarding. Now, military spouses, of course, possess creativity, expertise, strategic thinking, independence, confidence, and an unwavering motivation that can really give them the potential to excel and achieve top earning status in a sales career. So thank you so much for watching. Welcome. I'm Laura with Careers. And so I invite you to listen to a great sales experts here today, a panel of support who are here to share their contributions with and of course, look forward to your comments, your questions, and shared where you are watching, because love to send you a shout out. We love to be able to recognize your community, but also share with you particularly as well, where are some of those sales jobs that perhaps you are missing out and that you need to apply. Please watch the replay and follow up with our panelists, their connection, and of course, more resources at our Blue Star Careers neighborhood. Our resource library right there is constantly being updated. And of course, like I always like to ask you, let's pay it forward and share it with your network. We want to make sure that everyone gets a complete interest and awareness of where are some of those great career opportunities for military spouses. So let's get started. Thank you so much for watching. Well, hello. Welcome once again. Thank you so much for watching. May I remind you again, please tell us where you are watching, post your questions, and we would love to be able to send you shout outs. But once again, this is a really awesome, phenomenal discussion to have. We have great, powerful sales experts and, of course, driven military connected community members who are here to tell us that you sell, I sell, and of course everyone sells, and how we can all launch a career in a meaningful career in sales without feeling like we're selling. So we want to make sure that you get all your questions addressed. So we ask that you post them, and we will bring them on for our panel to respond to you towards the end. But first, panel, thank you so much for supporting our military community. Please introduce yourselves, tell us who you represent, and of course, if you have a military connection or you feel comfortable, tell us all about it. Let's start with you, Shelby.
Yes, hi. My name is Shelby. I am actually stationed at Fort Riley with my husband. I am a retail associate manager at T-Mobile. I'm very new to the area. We just actually moved here this year, and we came all the way from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, near Tennessee. So
awesome, thank you. And then we'll go to Mark.
Hi, good morning. I am in Mountain Home, Idaho. I was sent here in 2005 from Germany. Been all over the world, and I was also a military spouse at one point, military. So that's near and dear to me. I'm currently with Allstate Insurance and have been for quite a bit of time doing insurance, and just trying to help where I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll go to Carl.
Thank you, Laura. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on where everybody's from. My name is Carl. I'm currently in the Salt Lake City, Utah area. I work for the Avis Budget Group as a talent sourcing specialist. So basically throughout the United States and Hawaii, I do look for our sales professionals to help fill those roles with our direct hire recruiters, as well as our hiring managers for those upper sales positions. I spent 20 years in the Army as an infantry soldier, and I recently retired last June, and currently work on our ERGs with the Powder Veterans and committee some of those chairing committee some of those programs that we have that support our veteran community and our military spouses.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I really appreciate you taking the time to come out here and educate us and share all about sales, but most importantly, how to put an optimistic look on careers in sales and how we can, all sort of enjoy and take advantage of the great opportunities that maybe perhaps some of your organizations have. So I totally appreciate that. So I really want to go just straight down to the question and ask Shelby, do you sell?
Yes. So I started in the wireless industry back in 2011, and then joined T-Mobile about almost 6.5 years ago. I started from like the bottom, mobile expert, and pretty much that is just a entry level where it becomes with sales, relationship building, going over whether it's promotions, helping customers on a day-to-day basis with their technology. And I think that where I just really, wanted to be in the wireless industry, and especially with T-Mobile, my husband just being overseas and getting deployed, PCSing, it's our lifeline. So this is the way that I communicate with him and my family. I'm from Alaska, so I'm very far from home. And so our lifelines are very important to us. And I really wanted to be there to help other military spouses and veterans, and being, close to bases, and then their family members as well, and just kind of customers too. So, but yes, that's where I fell in love, just with sales and just kind of being in the wireless industry. And T-Mobile has done a lot for me in my journey, especially just moving here to Kansas.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So, it has allowed you to keep some of that, connection directly, because sometimes military life can be a little bit lonely, especially for military spouses, because you are relocating and having to restart all over again. So this allows you to have some of those connections, human connections. And then at a professional level, of course, you are just growing tremendously. So now let me go to Mark and ask him, Mark, do you sell?
I do sell. Yeah, I've kind of been selling my whole life, really. I started working at a young age, and after I joined the Air Force, I still always wanted to keep doing more. So I always had part-time jobs, managing retail stores or Pizza Huts or whatever. I've always been in the sales kind of mindset. Even my real first sales job, is going to make people laugh, was at Victoria's Secret. So that's the story and stuff. But I moved to finance and was a finance director for larger car companies, and had to sell with that. And then I also had to sell for just doing that stuff for 15 years. And, I've worked at managed retail companies and, big box stores. And I moved to insurance because of the family work-life balance. I wasn't getting that anywhere else. So now I'm able to help people, educate people with insurance that most people have zero idea about, and have some time for my family. So
that's great. Thank you so much. Now, I do want to just bring out that there is a background sound on your end, Mark, so you might want to get a little bit closer to our monitor so that we can capture all of that great insight that you are about to share with us. I am going to go now to Carl and ask, Carl, do you sell?
I feel like I'm selling every day. If it's want to go on an adventure and take a trip, I feel like I have to sell that to my wife and the family and where I want to go. But I did start a career in sales before even joined the military with the hospitality industry, working business type sales, working counter sales, and even some marketing. So it really pushed me into kind of the hospitality industry and what I wanted to work in. And then, based on what happened on September 11th, that's why I joined the service and spent 20 years. Even being inside the Army, being a recruiter for 6 years here in the Salt Lake City area, you go through about 7 to 9 weeks of really recruitment training. And with that, they really teach you sales techniques as well. and also working on different platforms, being a cycling expert, and selling about $60,000 worth of product each month and pushing that and getting commission sales on top of as I was transitioning into retirement. And now currently taking those skills that I have used and transfer those into talent acquisition, human resources, to where I can affect business decisions and also help find our entry-level sales professionals as well as our mid and senior level sales professionals to bring into the Avis budget brand.
Awesome. Thank you. I love how we have such a variety of different backgrounds and things, but you all, sort of met and now are really leading purposeful work to meet your specific goals. But I also think that you're certainly making an impact. Now, let me go and ask straight to, I'm going to start with Marc. Marc, why should military spouses and transition service members perhaps consider a career in sales? I often hear that sales, I want a job, but I really don't want to do it. I don't want anything to do with sales or customers. But I think customers and sales, we are ourselves all the time on a regular basis interacting with each other. I mean, we are customers ourselves. So why should we consider a transition a career in sales?
One of the main things is, income. One of the best things I found that, to not dodge it, but sales really is higher income than most places with limited education. If that's not, something that you have in your background. I took advantage of what I had military-wise for education, but I've known a lot of people that have been very successful with very limited education. So sales, income-wise, is huge. It's really the best option I've found as far as making, ends meet for my family. The other thing is the flexibility you get, depending on where you are. I have great flexibility with my job now to have my family and work balance. I can work when I want to. I can be at all my games and practices. I can coach and do things I couldn't do when I was, 70 hours a week type of thing. So, and then the other part with my job too is, it was money and my family. And then I realized, man, I'm doing a service for a lot of different people. Insurance, most people have zero clue, on their insurance and what it actually means. And the only time you actually talk to an insurance person is on the worst part of your life usually. So I try to get people to where they don't have those concerns, and you're always helping somebody, and you're in a position to just make somebody's life better that probably didn't even know they needed it.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you for that. It is true. It is true. That the sales industry sometimes within the insurance industry can be a little bit hectic for some people, very challenging. So you get to help them in a very, very purposeful way during a really hard time of their life. Now, Shelby, for you as a military spouse, given that you are in the opportunity, what should military spouses, what would you tell those that are a little hesitant to joining you in T-Mobile or perhaps in any sales career?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, just being a military spouse myself, I've had to learn to adapt in whatever situation that I'm put in, especially when you're moving and you're having to think about it every 3 years, sometimes even more. We're moving next year. I haven't even been here for a year. And so I'm constantly having to build new relationships, find support groups. I do have 2 kids, trying to find, new schools, new moms, and just really getting involved in the community. And I think that we really overlook that as military spouses, that we, that's something that I look at when I'm going through a hiring process, like now myself, is somebody that's able to build those relationships. It's not as easy just to talk to new people or get them excited about something. And I think being a spouse, it comes easy, it comes natural to us because we have to do it so often. You almost have to just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I think that sales is a great option when it comes down to being a spouse and finding that company that's right for you. Again, T-Mobile was right for me. The support groups that we have within T-Mobile to help us transition when we are doing moves. There's so much that goes into it. So I think that sales is a really, really great option to start if you're wanting to grow within your career. So I started in sales, and I'm still in sales, but now I am a manager. So, you know, you can go so many different routes. And I feel like when you get into a company and you're selling, you really know like all the ins and outs of the company. And then by that time, you kind of like realize, hey, like I want to do, you know, on the training side, or, you know, teach them how to sell, or, you know, now I want to be more on like the tech side or billing or accounting. Like all of those jobs you're still selling. Doesn't matter what you're doing. They're just like different branches of each role, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's the different transitions of your different career.
Yes.
You're still involved in the same industry, but it's a different level, you know, of selling. It's like when you become a teacher, right? Different specialties. And so I totally can see that being such a great, rewarding phase of your career to continue to transition. Now, Carl, I want to ask you, because you mentioned when you introduced yourself that you have had, you know, quite a bit of journey getting started in the sales industry, also transitioning from the military. Now that you are in this particular role and you recruit, you know, individuals that are looking to get started with little or no sales experience, how can they showcase their transferable skills during a job application process? I know you certainly look at a lot of those job opportunity applications yourself.
Well, I think is what I look for, especially with our entry level mental sales agents and stuff that work the counter, is really like, you know, does your resume reflect the 85% solution I'm looking for before I do a screening call, right? So a lot of those things are, you know, and things I really look for is like, do you have a retail industry background? Do you have hospitality industry background? That could be restaurants, working in different establishments. That could be working in hotels, marketing in those different departments. And do you have a set of customer service skills that you've had throughout those careers, or even that you've put into your skill set, and really, you know, have a short list with those, and then really finding out what that individual through a screening call of what their story is and their experiences, and then, you know, from there taking it to our recruiter for a direct hire. So those are the, you know, those kind of starting out skills I'm looking for. Biggest ones, you know, problem solving, relationship building, then also having the ability to be an active listener and stuff is something that we look for.
Awesome. Those are really great skills that I think a lot of military spouses and service members, of course, because through the military, you are taught to listen and to follow instructions. So this is some really great careers. I'm really getting excited. Now, back to Mark. Mark, what are some of those common challenges that you think individuals face when they start a career in sales, or when you started yourself? What were some, excuse me, some of those challenges that you certainly overcame as you transition into a more solid career?
Yeah, kind of like Shelby said, it's gotta be you, but be you in a different type of way, right? You gotta get out of your normal shell, and kind of, it gives you the opportunity to be yourself, but also kind of be somebody else at the same time. It's kind of, you know, I enjoy it because I'm not the way I am when I'm selling and out doing my job as I am at home. I'm kind of, you know, I have to be a little bit more different and a little more bubbly or upbeat or whatever the thing is. So that's the challenge, is really just getting people to have that mindset. The good thing about selling is you don't need that background. Some of the best people I've worked with in the car industry and in insurance had zero sales, but just really brought a great personality and a good energy. And in sales, that goes a long way. Everybody knows when they walk into a place, somebody who's smiling or has some good energy and something educational to say, that goes a long way. So.
Absolutely. Well, that's really good. That's good to know. So just good personality really will shape you up into a really great career and set you aside towards a great career trajectory. Now, I want to put back Carl on the spot, since you're transitioning, you're going through this process of selecting some of those best candidates, but our technology, of course, continues to impact either the sales landscapes or maybe some of the digital tools that are more accessible, either for pre-screening or just in general platforms, right, that makes things maybe somewhat easier. But what are some of those essential training, gadgets, tools, things that you can think of for someone who's starting out in this industry that you can share with us some examples?
I think, just based off our locations, is a lot of our equipment's user friendly, and we're actually going through a digital transformation and making the process even more streamlined and quick. And if you can use Anything digital, that's anything from an iPad to an RFID scanner and a computer system. Having those skills, those technology skills, is going to really play a big part for you at the Avis Budget Group, but also in other sales aspects too. If you're tech savvy and you want to go and work on a sales platform, like I used to do as a part-time sales associate with Curated, it's very possible to do that and have your own setup and really what type of career you want to get into and really dive into the type of technical assets that you need to know and have an understanding of.
Awesome. Thank you for that. I know our technology is really fast evolving all the time. So, I'm sure anyone can always pick up a couple of great tools and tricks, resources to really set you up for success. And talking about success, setting yourself up for success, Shelby, I'm going to turn it on to you because you, as a military spouse, perhaps can share with us a little bit about how can candidates prep for an interview in sales, especially if you have started out completely. Some of these roles that we're about to share in a little bit are entry-level roles. Some of them will start you up, maybe with very little experience or experience when you are pivoting to new things. But what are some of those common interview best practices that you can do? What worked for you that will set you up for success during the interview process?
Yeah. So for me, I didn't really have any sales background. I had a lot of customer service. One of my first jobs, working in a restaurant, but I think it really comes down to personality. So I just have a really big personality, and I told my story in my interview. And that really, that's something that I really look for when I'm doing interviews. Somebody that just really is just excited. I want to see, if you're going to be in sales, you have to be excited. How are your customers going to believe you if, you don't show the excitement behind it? So that's something that I really look at, is just really showing that excitement. Because I can teach you to sell, but I can't, when you're looking at somebody with those certain characteristics, especially with their personality, it's either you have it or you don't. And for me, it's just, if you're going to go into an interview, be you. Don't be shy, be excited. My first interview, I actually had to sell a blue Post-it. That's what they told me. Sell me this blue Post-it. And I did. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, how am I going to sell this blue Post-it? This wasn't even a part of my job. We're not selling Post-its, but so sometimes I even do that in an interview just to be funny. I'll, give it to my candidates, sell me this pen. How would you use this pen? So I love when they kind of just make fun of it, and they're just themselves. So.
Awesome. Well, that's really good. Definitely be yourself and give yourself some grace, because, sometimes preparation for an interview is really intimidating, especially when you are starting all over again in a new community. But I'm glad that all of you guys here have a really good team, and you are part of our community that can certainly back us up and support. So now I want to send, of course, we have multiple communities streaming, and so I'm looking through different monitors here to send shout outs, but I want to remind our community who's watching right now, actively watching on SpouseForce, on LinkedIn, and of course on our social media and Facebook communities, to please post their questions or post any shout outs for the recruiters. We are going to send you those towards the end, but also want to make sure that we acknowledge your community and see where you benefit the most, and then we'll love to be able to follow you up with you directly, so that we can share with you where are some of those great career opportunities available, maybe perhaps in your community. So, for instance, I know Elva is over in Maryland, and I would love to be able to share directly with her some of those career opportunities that are available with this particular also panel, but maybe with other employer friends of Blue Star Careers. Now, as we getting ready to wrap up, I want to save some time to bring a couple of exciting announcements that our team will bring up in a little bit. I want to take a moment right now to bring Amy, and of course, bring in, where is Lacey? Craig, are you ready? And so we're about to get started. There we go. Great. So I do want to go around and support, of course, our community, and ask, what are some of those, let's put you guys back on the spot and say, what are some of those call to action, empowering events or things that you have going on? But first, we'll start with a panel, and then Amy, and then I'll go to you and Lacey. Shelby, how can our community connect with you, but also empower and just support you as you continue to transition through your career into higher levels?
I would say for me, being a military spouse, I think a lot of times when we're going into jobs, we, overlook to, let our hiring managers or, friends or, just people know like, hey, I am a military spouse or, I am military affiliated. And it's something really exciting and to own. So for me, with T-Mobile, moving here was a really hard transition for me with my kids this year. But we have a military veterans and allies group that I was able to connect with and that I love, that I am not alone, that they were there to support me with T-Mobile with my journey. And they just made it such an easy transition. So I just want to let everybody know that it was nice not being alone and having to try and find out like, who else is a spouse who can help me answer these questions? Who am I supposed to reach out to? So that was something that I was really thankful that I did have the support from my community with T-Mobile, that we do have something special for military veterans and allies and spouses. So.
Awesome. Thank you. That is very, very beautiful and very reassuring and I love it that you said you're not alone. So thank you, T-Mobile, for supporting our military spouse community. Now, Marc, is there anything that you personally are working on that our community can support you and of course, prepare to, as you continue to transition to your career as well, to higher levels?
Really, just some things I'm trying to do for my community are just that education on what I do. I mean, obviously everything revolves around your job and making sure you're successful. But if you can help a community and still being, attached to a small town that has a military base and then actively trying to pursue getting on bases to educate incoming people, younger kids who have zero idea about insurance or why you need it or what it's there for. And then even the ones that are transitioning back to civilian life, I wish I had somebody that was able to educate me and kind of show me and my family the benefits of things going forward. It's usually, okay, thanks for coming. So I'd like to be able to get my, the message out there and what you're doing, why it's important, how to not overspend, but how to make sure you're protected. And, it's important because on the worst day, that's something that's going to save you and your family. So those are things I'm trying to do for my community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely look forward to staying connected with you and following up on LinkedIn or in our neighborhood community. We'll share your contact information if you let us. And then, of course, so that we can support you, of course, with these projects as well. So now I'm going to turn it on to Carl. And if you can please tell us a little bit more about also anything that we can do purposefully that you're working on and call to action, particularly any projects you have going on.
Yes, currently I'm on the committee with Power of Veterans and also partner with our Power of Women's initiatives through our ERGs. And really on the human resource side and talent acquisition side, being a voice and advocate for our military spouse community as well as our veteran community, and really bring in other sources to help educate our hiring managers and also our talent acquisition specialists how to not only read veteran resumes and translate them and have those opportunities, and other certifications that they can get. And then also extending, like, for example, we have supply chain roles with ATEX and basically automotive techs, having that ability, if they've had like 2 years experience, working in the motor pool, whatever it is, as a 91 Bravo vehicle mechanic, bring them in. They had the experience. We'll give them 6 months to get at least an ASE certification. And then we'll also, once they pass the test, we'll reimburse them for that. Then also bridging the gap to bring military spouses in and give them a pathway into not only establishing an entry-level role and coming into the Avis Budget Group brand, but also trying to reform policy that would allow portability for that position throughout the United States as they move, and also give them a pathway into higher earning income positions.
I loved all of those changes that you are advocating for our community. So thank you so much. And we'd definitely love to be able to support you and stay connected with you. And so now I'm going to give the floor, but Carl, you obviously you stay here because we are going to put you one more on the spot, but I am going to take Mark and Shelby to our backstage, and we're going to stay here to talk about a little bit about some other immediate hiring initiatives that we have going on. And so, Team Allstate, T-Mobile, and of course, Avis Budget have some immediate hiring opportunities all across the U.S. So, if you are jobless or you're thinking about a job, you have heard all of this about, I don't know about sales, but now hopefully with this, it all got broken down to you a little bit, how optimistic and what a great outlook you can have regarding a rewarding career, especially for military spouses and transition service members. So, Amy, tell us what's going on at Allstate and how can we empower ourselves towards a really meaningful career with you guys?
Thank you, Laura. Hi, everyone. And thank you again, Laura, for inviting us today. Again, my name is Amy Ferguson. I am a talent acquisition and on the military diversity team at Allstate. My purpose is to educate job seekers about careers at Allstate, focusing on veterans, military spouses, and diverse talent. So I am a Air Force veteran myself and used to be a military spouse. So this really hits home to me, and my strategic purpose with my main role really is rewarding because I get to find jobs for people every day. So it's very rewarding. So thank you for the service of the veterans and military spouses on the call. Our team here at Allstate has a strategic purpose to hire more military spouses and veterans. If you are interested in the MSA role or any other role at Allstate, Laura can share my contact information and we can streamline your application with tips and tricks and advice for the interview processes too. We have a strong military EIG, which I'm on the committee called Avis, to support you when you are hired. And yes, so we're really excited to have more people reach out to us and get them hired.
Awesome. Thank you. And yes, I have a ton of job leads from Allstate. So those are all going to be posted and have been posted in the neighborhood. So if you are watching this and you have reviewed some of these job leads and you still sort of have questions, remember, Amy just said it right here. Reach out to me directly and we'll help you brainstorm how to really secure yourself a great career for you and your family. Now, Ms. Lacey, what's going on over at Team Magenta? How can we empower ourselves and turn it into a pink adventure?
Right.
Or magenta.
Also, yeah, I was like
pink,
magenta.
it's magenta.
Right. Very good. Right. Those are fighting words over here with pink and magenta. But hi, everybody. I'm Lacey Craig. I'm a senior program manager on the military and diversity recruiting team here at T-Mobile. Thank you so much for joining today and for having us be able to participate. There are always exciting things happening over here at T-Mobile, but a couple of really cool things that I'd love to share with this community specifically is that we just posted a news story yesterday celebrating a new policy that we have in place that's in our handbook. And it's something that we are definitely supporting enterprise-wide about military spouse portable work options. And so we have it now to where any line of business will consider a portable or remote option for military spouses if you live outside of a headquarters location for us. In addition to supporting transfers from a store or sales position if you PCS and have to relocate. So really excited about that. We also are launching an office hours every week for military spouses to hop on and talk to our team about questions that you might have about career pathing, different opportunities, how you can get in touch with a recruiter or hiring manager, what the best career path would be for you, and available work options. So that will be posting on our career site, so you can join those. That will be every Tuesday. So make sure to look out for that. And then as well as there are some other super cool benefits that are coming through the pipeline. We like to say over here, we won't stop. So we continue to work on making sure that we're advancing the benefits and career options for our military spouses. And in addition to that, we're going to be joining Laura again tomorrow for a careers webinar to talk about different career options here at T-Mobile. So make sure that you're tuning into that too.
Absolutely. It's the Un-Carrier Connect. So it's all about T-Mobile, all the good little things that you can do and the best steps to reach that. So I shared in the comments the link for you to find the registration so that you can be notified and we can let you know how to join us. So awesome. So, and then Mr. Carl, top all of those policy changes, but I know you have hundreds and thousands of jobs, really cool jobs available for our military community across the state. So I want to also be, be mindful of giving you plenty of time for you to also share and send a shout out to your corporate as well.
Yeah, so here at the Avis Budget Group, we're always driven to be, the best mobile platform for your transportation needs going into 2025. And with that, there's a lot of changes that we do, not only for our employees, but our future employees too, and really taking consideration the military spouse population. So a lot of those will be, even if we have to move some of those entry-level sales jobs and other jobs into more of a part-time role, and then moving those hours to where maybe like an early in the morning type thing or later in the evening thing to adjust for childcare and stuff like that, and understanding those complications that can, especially on military installations. I know through my 20-year career, it's always hard to find and get into the installation daycare and even the surrounding areas because it's just so high demand. So really trying to adjust those schedules to meet the requirements. We do have some remote jobs available through our Tulsa office. That is customer service related again, but a lot of those attributes and skill sets can move you into a sales role if that's what you're looking to do and to grow with the Avis Budget brand. So there's a lot of initiatives that are in their infancy right now, but there are changes that will be made, and really our goal to really hit is mid 2024 and 2025 for that.
Awesome. Thank you. And, and not everything remote is sexually rewarding. Sometimes you just need to get out there in the field and really have a great time. I remember my times out in the field, and I miss that so much. Going out to the actual location and doing a lot of great work, conversing, talking to the individuals, getting to know your neighbors, your community, your humans in your surrounding areas. That's really what purposeful is. Sometimes isolated. So a lot of great careers like the ones we have here offering for our military community and transition service members can really bring you a great impact to your life, but also put you back into some rewarding options. Now, I do want to send a shout out to Jessica, Nicole, and of course, Nancy Pomaro, who are watching on our Spouse Force, Surjana, and Janet over in Spouse Force. And then, of course, we have Elba Rosado on LinkedIn. But yeah, so we want to be bringing back Shelby and Mark back again. And so as we get ready to wrap this up, I just want to really say thank you so much, everyone, for your contributions for this particular discussion. And I hope that our audience finds it meaningful and they're able to reconsider or simply consider in general job opportunities that are available. And all of those links, and of course, everything, the replay, everything will be played, will be set up in our neighborhood community where you can go and connect with all of these panelists, but also review some of the immediate job opportunities that they have available and connect and look at the different great policies that all of them are really advocating for military community. I mean, you heard it all here. Everyone has something to share about how they're advocating, and they really want to bring in military connected families to their companies. And that's really powerful right there. That's where I get really excited to help promote some of those job opportunities, because these are individuals and companies that have a great intent to help military families land their next career. So if you have any questions, please reach out and let us know. Otherwise, we look forward to connecting with you in the neighborhood and staying connected. And not only that, but also helping and celebrating you a great career success in the next 2024. I mean, we're almost done for 2023, right? But that's not to say that you cannot start looking right now for a great job and eventually land a purposeful career. So Mark and Shelby, I know I put you backstage for a few minutes while our other rest of the panelists discuss something, but is there anything you guys like to share before we go off? Shelby? No?
No, I was going to go. I was trying to come off mute.
Okay.
No, really just thank you for having me today. I guess really the biggest thing for me is just my journey with T-Mobile is just getting started. They have been really great to me, supporting in my family. And it's just really important to find a company that works for you that does that same thing. Something super cool that I would like to say is that T-Mobile is still hiring. Their goal was to hire 10,000 military spouses, veterans, anything military affiliated by 2023. So we are still hiring. So let it be known, put it on your resumes that you are military spouse, that you are military affiliated. Like, don't shy away from that. Own it. And that's about it.
I love that. Own it. Don't hide it anymore. We're not hiding anymore the fact that we're military spouses, at least not here with this panel. Absolutely not. Mark, anything else we'd like to say that as we get ready to wrap it up?
To echo Shelby, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and yeah, don't be afraid of a sales position, especially insurance. And Allstate is my second insurance company I've been with, and they've been amazing to work with. Super easy. I work from home. I have everything I need. Don't be afraid of something new, but sales is really just personality, and Allstate kind of lets you be you, and build off of that. And there's great potential there, and huge upside. So don't be afraid of something new, and reaching out and trying something. It's beneficial for sure, especially with that family work-life balance.
Absolutely. Thank you. Which is is very well needed and welcome during our military lifestyle, active duty especially. It's very hectic. Now, Carl, I want to be mindful, since we don't have a cheerleader for you, but you are two of one. So tell us anything last minute, last comments you want to share as we get ready to close up, and then you'll be closing us up, actually.
I was just excited to be here and be on this great panel with everybody else, being supporters of the military spouse community, the veteran community. I know if just one voice is very quiet, but all of us together can make an impact and a difference. So thank you for having me, and thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And once again, for our community who's watching, I know there's Felicia and Lourdes. There's a couple of people late for the party, but remember, you can watch the replay here in our neighborhood and continue to just post your comments. We'll come back to make sure that all of you get addressed and directed to the best career opportunities for a military spouse community here at Blue Star Careers. If you have any questions, please, again, post them, send them over to our community. And don't forget to just join our neighborhood. We'll make sure that you get taken care of. And so thank you once again, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks for maybe another webinar.